Now we're live.
Never seen a group of guys is not on. Mine's not on.
Now we're live, boys. What's up, Brad? It's one of my good clients.
Yo. Never seen a group of guys like White Claw so much. Well, I wonder who you're referring to, bud.
Never seen one on my boat.
I mean, I don't mind an occasional
I can't.
White Claw, but like, it's
not a thing for me. I can't.
No, nice cold Keystone.
Oh
yes,
yeah.
Clint is the expert tonight on springers. Because he's got a boat.
Yep.
I mean, he'll catch
out.
like 2 and he'll get a guide license next week and then shoot. I mean, he'll be like, that's what everyone else does these days.
Yeah.
It's the new
I
thing.
gotta name it. It's gotta start with real too, right? So
Something
real Cameron Black Guide Service.
Real legend guide service.
You should do it. You should do it. You should do it, bud. No, I welcome that. I welcome that challenge. Go out there in front of everybody.
And not catch fish.
And go ahead and give it a shot. Yep.
This is.
Go ahead.
Whew.
I know. It'll smell like
pungent.
It smells like
Very pungent.
springers in here, boys. It's March. It's springers.
Yes,
Steelhead's
March
over.
1st, baby.
We're done. We're done.
Yeah, done. Go get after it. Get in your big boats.
Yep.
Go out to the Columbia.
Yep.
Go start trolling
Nope.
around.
I didn't get that February springer, guys. I'm gonna admit it. The steelhead fishing was too good. I just didn't do it. Sorry, my bad. But the one day I probably could have gone and done
There
it.
it is.
Him and I went and filmed an episode for you and caught steelhead. So there you go. That's what we have.
Dude, that's what I literally just shook my head at that. I'm like, here it comes.
There you go.
Here,
There you go.
watch. Let's see if I did my job.
Oh,
No.
steel obsession. But look, all these guys are knowing what's up.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up?
I know I went to Fisherman's the other night, and like 3 guys were like, "Steel obsession."
Yeah.
I'm like, hey
They
guys.
go steel obsession guide
No,
service.
it wasn't quite that drug out.
They drug it out though.
They drug it out a
Yeah,
little
just
bit, but not
okay, perfect.
not quite
Perfect.
not quite Cameron drug out though.
Steel obsession. It needs to have an echo to it. Guide
Yeah.
service.
Surf.
But you've been ripping them. Getting some?
A handful here and there.
It's the time of year. They're
It
in every
is.
river.
They
Pick your
are.
poison.
Just got to be there.
Just got to be there.
Just
When
got
are
to
we
be
going to
there.
get some rain?
Oh boy. Looks like we're supposed to get a little tiny shot tonight. Not enough.
No.
But
No.
honestly, I haven't looked that far ahead in the forecast.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, can you grab me that item that Mike was talking about back there, Jason? Yeah.
What? Ah,
Couple announcement, guys. Tonight we've got all this fancy dancy pro-cure stuff because we are going to be talking about spring Chinook bait and prep. We've got Steve Lynch and Jason Hambley in the house. So for you guys prepping bait, thinking about springers, Fisherman's Marines posting Eric Baird with 3 days in a row with fish cod. And I know another couple guys have gotten a couple. Like, it is getting time.
gets me
It is.
excited.
It is getting time. It is March 1st. It is springer season.
For some guys, that's what marks it to be springer season, and I'll let them have that.
Yep. Couple weeks away. It is going to be good. So I think conditions are looking good. Stuff. So we got them in. We're going to be talking about prepping herring, brine, scent, injecting scent, chemicals, all sorts of good stuff. They're a wealth of knowledge, and they're always cool to bring in here. We usually get them in here once in the spring, once in the fall. Always a good conversation. It's one of those nights that if you guys have a lot of good questions, this is your chance. Like, you got them right here in front of us. We got them live for the whole episode. They've already done some pre-brining on some of these baits. I can tell you that last year I started using a lot of the, just going back to the basics, back to the brine and bite, and I thought I had a really good season. I think so. I think a lot of this stuff does help. It's stuff that I use a lot in a lot of my fishing, and I can tell you what, it definitely pays to pay attention to these guys. So they've taught me a lot over the years as well. So line up those questions, get everything ready. For those guys, we're going to bring them in here in just a moment. I think we're going to have a couple Pro-Cure giveaways as well.
Oh.
So if you guys are liking and sharing this out there, make sure you tune in and tell your buddies to tune in. And also tell us where you're tuning in from. There we go. We're going to start that one. We haven't done that for a few weeks, even though people get on there and tell us where they're from. We appreciate you guys doing that. Return of the fish counter. Thanks for the last vid. Yes. The fish counter. That was brutal. That was some brutal fishing. But when the water's on the rise and the trout are just like, it was kind of cold for a bit.
Uh-huh.
And when we went and filmed that episode, we actually got, well, for this year, a lot of rain.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it, the night before. So when we got down to the river, it was on the rise, and it actually rose a foot while we were there. And the trout were just insatiable. Like
they're on it.
Yeah, they were just anything. It didn't matter. They were grabbing it and screwing us up. But then Sam ended up with a couple nice ones.
Yeah.
Really nice ones. So.
Couple really good quality fish.
He crackered off a couple too. We're gonna have to talk about that. Like, what should he have done better besides land them? No, I'm totally kidding. Totally kidding. If you guys haven't checked it out, up on Addicted Fishing, Sam Bear, the anti-pro from Slam and Salmon Guide Service. Went out and did some steelheading, and it was a challenge. It was a little challenge, but we got a couple nice fish in the end. So
pretty killer episode.
Pretty fun, just straight up fishing episode.
Yeah.
That's right. Wisconsin, says Adam. There are a lot of Procure over there in Wisconsin? But there's a lot of Procure in Wisconsin. What's that?
More and more.
More and more every day, Jason says. Perfect. Mesa, Arizona, Oregon City, Portland, Salem, Lebanon. Heading out tomorrow with Ryan. We'll see you out there, TJ. Cloverdale, Vancouver, Colfax, Renton, Enumclaw, Hazeldale. What's the best dates to go springer fishing down on the Columbia? The last day that it's open. Yep, the last day it's open, and then the second day is the second to last day before it opens. That's the second best day, and the third day, and work it backwards. There's your rest days, and it's because it has to do with an abundance.
Top 10 days is the last 10 days.
That's right. Top 10 days, last 10 days. That's just kind of the way the season works. We fish on the front end of the run before they're peaking over Bonneville Dam. So generally, the later you go in the scheduled season, which for the lower Columbia is scheduled till April 7th this year. However, if you wait till that very last day, or maybe even the second to last day or the third, and we start really whooping on some fish, you could run the risk of a closure or something like that. So really any day that you can get out there and get some bait wet, especially if it's Brian Procure, I'm just going to say it, because that's what we're doing here tonight. And why are you looking at me like that?
Your mic's turned upside down.
My mic sucks? Oh, good. No one wanted to hear what I had to say anyways.
Put it on your jacket.
Oh, my jacket right here?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. I came just off the river, if you guys couldn't tell. So did Jason. Jason's standing here in his waders. We literally got off the river today.
Long day.
Yep.
Long day. Voice a little hoarse.
Voice a little hurt. Yelling at your
Classic.
clients. Real. That's all we yell.
Real
Fast. No. Stop
this
what
way.
you're doing in real.
This way, 5 feet. Keep coming. Drop it right there. Drop it right there. This way about 5 feet. Keep coming. Drop it right there. One more time. Drop it right there.
No, not up there, 35 foot in the tree.
Yeah. No, right, literally 10 feet off the boat. Right there.
Yeah. Oh, you mean this, your other right. Inside joke, guys. Good stuff. Hey, got one other announcement too, guys. I'm going to let the cat out of the bag because Mike came up and told me that we actually have, speaking of steelhead,
Oh, they're in.
the landing nets are in warehouse, in possession. We have them. Limited stock, of course. Thanks, Mustad. Matt, if you're watching, we still hate you. I'm blaming everything on you. I'm blaming you on not shipping those all the way from Florida. You should have personally drove down there, got in the freight truck, and drove here. Just kidding. Matt does what he can, but we missed the sportsman shows, and we were supposed to have these at the sportsman shows. But we still have a lot of steelhead fishing left for those guys that aren't going to go out and chase springers like myself. I mean, for all of you. So, landing nets are in possession, but they will be available on March 11th on our spring drop. So don't go run into the website. Check them out. Landing net giveaway, Dylan. You know what? Next week we'll give one away. The reason why is because we got all this. We got some really cool pro stuff. Pro stuff.
Procure
Pro
stuff.
stuff. We're pro up here.
Pro.
We have some really good Procure packages to give away tonight.
We do it live, guys. This is live.
It's the 12th, March 12th. March 12th is the Sunday. March 11th
There it
is the
is.
Saturday. because March 11th, the reason why I have that day stuck in my head is because we'll be down at the Redmond Sportsman Show. I think it's the Central Oregon. I think that's what they call that one because I always call them by the city and not by the name, even though I should call them by the name. We will be on March 11th, the Saturday. Got to clarify that. Not the drop day, the day before the drop day. We will be down doing a bash at the Central Oregon Sportsman Show. Prizes, giveaways, all sorts of good stuff. I'm not sure exact details. Unfortunately, sadly, Marlon woke up sick this morning. Hopefully he's fighting off that bug and flu, but he was going to be in here today, and he is not feeling he's under the weather. So wish him all, hopefully that he'll get better. Prices, guys, I'm not going to be held to a number to tell you now that could be wrong or right. So we're just going to let that go. You're going to have to check it out on March 12th. I'm sure we'll know next week.
I'll know here in a sec.
Or Clint will know here in a sec, which it's coming from Clint, so y'all know what that means. Could be right, could be wrong, might be, you know.
All very true. Got a 50-50 chance of it either being right
or wrong.
Or wrong. Oh my gosh. No, we are not anyways. And where's the storm is bad out there? Where are you at, Victoria? Because, like, is it raining somewhere?
She drove a long ways to come to the bash. I can't remember.
Oh, Utah? Oh, so maybe getting some of that remnant California stuff? Yeah. No Marlin equals more prizes. Well, sometimes we go a little crazy, but we'll probably have some. I can tell you what we're going to do, and the prizes tonight, we're just going to do a Procure prize pack. I don't know exactly what's going to be in it, but we're going to get it to you. And then we also have another way for you guys to win a Procure prize pack, so we're going to stay tuned on that. Let's see here. The Clint Commander of Prices. Story of Clint's life. Wrong, right? Never really know. He doesn't really know.
What?
Yeah. I love this. What's that? What's your problem?
Nothing.
What's wrong, Clint?
I don't know why the comments are about me. Let's talk spring.
It's all about you, Clint.
Let's talk spring.
How many people do we have watching here? We got over 300 of you guys. So let's give this one more moment to give a like and share, get some people in, and we'll bring our special guests in here.
Wait, did we even pick a winner?
Not yet.
Oh.
Not yet. Steel Obsession Guide Service, what's June look like for you? What are you doing in June? What's up in June?
Probably, I might go back to my full-time at that point. At that point, I'll only be doing stuff on the weekends again. But hit me up. Definitely shoot me a message.
Early June, there's still springers.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
and then maybe late June, there's more summer steelhead.
Yeah, I'll definitely be doing some more.
June is a very fishy month.
Yeah, we'll be doing some fishing this summer. Just shoot me a message on my Facebook page, and we'll get you lined out.
There you go.
Cheers.
You got anything going on right now? I mean, this is the steelhead month.
Yeah,
much as we're going to talk springers tonight, it's the steelhead month.
I definitely still have some steelhead dates open. Midweek, some pretty peak dates, I would say.
Yeah. A lot of our rivers shut down here in the middle of the month.
Yeah, I was going to say definitely shut down right at that 15th mark. So kind of narrows it down to a couple of systems, but there's still some fish to be had for sure. If you guys are interested in a trip, just shoot me a message on my page, and we'll get you lined out. Get you on the books.
Make Clint great again. That would imply that he was great at some point in time before.
I knew it.
Because
right
should
now,
just be make Clint great.
Right now,
that's what it should be.
Right now, this is my full-time guiding full-time right now.
Let's catch some springers with the Stinky Procure. That's right.
Dude, this stuff is
what new scents has Procure come out
too.
with the help catch springers? Yeah, it's definitely a herring, fresh herring. But you know what? Honestly, like it shouldn't smell like rancid fishy herring, but herring have a very distinct.
Yes, it's. I like the smell of herring. I like the smell of pretty much any bait. Bait just smells good.
Sand shrimp.
Yes.
Well, fresh sand shrimp.
Fresh sand shrimp.
I mean, it smells. Woo. You know what good smells like.
Yeah, exactly.
You wouldn't eat it though.
Bad sand shrimp. Whew. No thanks. Freshies straight up dug.
Best Procure for Idaho sturgeon. Yummy. That's a question for these guys. I like how you guys are thinking ahead though. I like this. My fish ain't stinky enough.
Know we have Procure?
I said it. And I said who we have and everything. But we're going to give away this first prize pack. Get Clint a steelhead. Who fishes with Clint? Nah.
No one?
No.
Clint's never caught a
Clint
steelhead.
never gets to go.
Nope.
Have you ever caught a steelhead, Clint?
No. I went on that guided trip and I didn't get one.
Yeah. He went with Ryan and he
No, not Ryan.
Oh,
Ryan
no.
would have got me one.
No, it was he went with Gaffney. But he hooked like 4 and lost them all. So it's like it's not like it's Gaffney's fault. It was all Clint. It was all Clint. And that's the thing about, and now you can answer this. Isn't that the thing about steelhead fishing? Like guys will get in the raft, like, how you doing? Like, you know, I'm like, you know what, dude? Like, this is like one fishery where like literally I put it in your hands. Like,
yeah, this
you
is
have to set. You have to make the cast. You have to make the connection. You have to set the hook. You have to drift it. It's all on you. So really, it all depends on you today if we catch them or not.
Pretty much. All I'm doing is just telling you where to go and how deep to go.
Yep, and pretty much that. Wow.
Sorry
and
about that,
that's why
folks.
Clint's never caught a steelhead. Because it literally is up to him to catch it. And it just doesn't happen.
Too deep.
Oh, Clint needs a steel obsession trip. I kind of agree with that.
Oh, that'd
How
be
many
fun.
people want to see that for some real fishing?
That'd be fun. You know, actually be fun about that is to film an episode out of that.
That would actually be fun. Cameron takes
Alex
Clint.
is like,
Yeah, how about that? Like, I'll forego my plans tomorrow. I'll just take Clint steelheading and bring Alex to fishing. I'll just
Dude,
rip on
yes.
him for 30 minutes.
Yes.
I'm good.
We'll see if we can make Clint just jump right off the front of the raft. Let's just go.
My
Just
cheeks
buy
hurt,
Clint
bro.
a steelhead and put it on the line. We're taking donations via Super Chat for that right now. So. Oh my gosh. Okay. Good evening from Kelso. Hey Scott, how you doing? Oh my gosh. All right, let's how many people we got watching right now? All right, we got almost 400 of you guys. So I think it's time to pick our first winner, which will win a surprise prize pack. Let's get our special guest in here. We only have a short time with him tonight. Clint's going to pick a winner real quick. Get this going. Scott B. Scott B from Oregon City. Hey, that's pretty close to Procure, right? Are you guys in? No, they're in Salem now. Salem. Well, close enough. I mean, maybe you can pick. No, we'll send it to you. But Scott B, if you're still on here, say that you're still on here. Say yeehaw, I'm stoked, I won, whatever. And be sure to email orders at addicted.fishing. Give them your address and be sure to include that you won the first Procure prize pack of the Addicted live feed. And we will send that out to you guys. Or you, Scott B. Scott B only. Unless we have the next winners and the other way that you guys can win something from Procure directly. Cry cam time. Todd, not a good idea. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. All right, dude. Well, go here. Come here. Stand in front here. You got to get out your waders, bud. We're gonna bring the Procure guys in.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, dude. Thanks
Catch
for
you guys
tuning in.
later.
Thanks for
Literally,
being Marlin.
literally.
He is literally in waders, sporting them.
Hey, huge shout out to these Sims wading pants. They're freaking money.
There you go. Bad ass guys.
Bye.
Later, dude. Get your stuff done. See you tomorrow. Yes. Yeah, buddy. All right. Jason and Steve. What's
Howdy.
going on? Long time no see.
I was going to say the same thing.
Like, we didn't just spend a week together at this. Oh, what'd you forget?
My coat.
Your coat.
And my phone and my keys.
And your phone and your keys.
Might need all
The
that.
key wasn't going anywhere
Long day on
fast.
the river.
How come you got a wrap on it?
Had one.
Have you used Procure UV yet? Oh, God.
Later, guys.
Here we go. Later, buddy. We'll talk about that. Steve Lynch, Jason Hamley, how long have you guys been working for Procure?
Since 2001.
Since 2001. 22 years in the bait business.
Since 15.
Since 15. A lot of years in the bait business and a lot more years fishing and killing fish probably with Procure.
Yep.
All right. Introduce yourself, guys. What do you
Steve
do?
Lynch. I take out the trash for Procure.
Shut up. And trust me, that trash is woo-hoo. No, kidding.
We have plenty of it.
Really sneaky. No.
I'm Jason Hambley. I do mostly sales and everything. We wear a lot of hats at
You
Procure.
wear a lot of hats. Take
Yeah.
care. Take one big happy family.
That's right.
Jason doesn't fly, so he does the Northwest. So if it involves flying like the East Coast, I do that.
You don't do any flying.
I don't like flying.
Do you ever fly at all? Like if you had to?
I have in the past, but I hate it.
Yeah. Well,
Definitely not like Clint.
yeah. No. Yeah. You see him up there in that little plane, and it's like, you can pay me.
Oh, I don't mind it.
Yeah. Oh well.
No.
Then it works. A lot of research and development between you two guys, though.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
A lot of fishing trips, a lot of stuff filming with Justin.
Yeah.
You remember seeing those episodes 22 years ago?
Oh yeah.
All that good stuff.
Yeah, we both get to spend ample time on the water.
Oh yeah, you
For
do.
sure.
I'm usually calling for you for usually calling Jason. You're like, what's going on up there? Oh, they are. Oh, you guys are done.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it. Okay, well, I better get up there.
But the first half of the year or quarter, we're doing shows, just like you, right? Just
Yeah.
one town, one city. Do a show here, come back, and run to another one. So
Yeah.
we
First-
talk fishing.
First quarter of the year, we're carnies.
Your carnies. How was show season for you guys?
Very good.
Good.
No complaints.
You were talking a little bit beforehand, guys, like to just get a little background, and like because some of their stuff is kind of hard to find and everything. But you guys said you guys were producing bait and selling products at a 2021 level right now.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
That means a lot because for those that forgot,
It's crazy.
like 2021, like COVID,
It was insane.
fishing, people were going fishing, except for Washington, which closed for 6 weeks because that was the best thing to do.
And
That
Michigan.
was for our sake. Oh, and
Michigan, too.
well, Michigan, it wasn't a direct closure, and you can still fish like private property stuff, and you could still like fish. We couldn't go on a boat,
Yeah.
but you could still fish. And then Maine had something where you could go fishing, but it wasn't for like catch and release. Like
Right.
you could catch only for like sustenance, but you could still go fishing. There was a lot of bluegill, I bet, that died that year. Well, got to keep the poor little bastard,
Yeah.
right? But but nobody else had like the direct closure for our
Correct.
health and safety because our department made such a wise decision in that. I mean, I told him I'd let him forget that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gonna be
But we
hard
know
on
how
the
it worked out
guys.
because ultimately it was terrible to go outside and. But you guys sold a lot of products
We
because
sold-
everybody was going outside after the closure,
Yeah.
and now you're selling product at that level again,
Yeah.
which speaks volumes because
Yeah.
obviously hashtag let us fish. Yeah, obviously that means a lot though.
Yeah.
So business is booming.
Business is good. We have some new products, but we've been so busy, we haven't been able. I mean, we've been working on these 3 years now, and we'll have them ready probably by the end of the summer, where we can show them and talk about them. But they've been on my desk for 3 years.
Well, what are they?
I can't really talk
Oh,
about them.
come on!
You'll,
is it
you'll
like- Is it a product or is it a flavor?
it's both.
It's
a
both.
product with a flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you do? What like?
So that's about all I can say. So end of summer.
How many people want to hear what the new stuff is from Procure coming out? So I tried to do this on the live feed. It ain't gonna work.
It ain't gonna work.
It
Sorry.
ain't gonna work. All right, let's just start this off with you guys out there. What is your favorite Procure product? Like everybody has got a favorite, whether it's like a brine and bite, a scented gel, the Slamola powder, a fish oil. It better all be Addicted Salmon Blend. I'm just kidding. Like, tell us really what works for you guys. Like, what is your favorite product out there? Give us some stuff to go through because we're going to be talking about, obviously, more Springer-centric stuff. But these guys can answer questions to any of that. So, yeah, tell us. I'd like to hear new products just in time for Buoy 10.
Well, we're hoping, but it won't be related for Buoy 10. Sorry.
Oh, not related
No.
for Buoy 10. How can it not be? They eat everything down there.
No, not for this.
Well, they might.
They might, but I doubt. I doubt. And the other one is going to be, it's a carp fishing product, but it'll be East Coast.
So all the carp guys just got excited.
And overseas.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, carp is big in Europe.
Oh, huge.
So
Yeah.
I think we're doing 41 countries right now where we're selling to. So in June, I'll be going to Budapest for the foreign trade show.
For the foreign
Yes,
trade show?
FTEX. So that's right before ICAST in July. But that's where you just hire a bunch of interpreters that speak different languages.
And they just sit in your booth and
And they talk to whomever.
no kidding.
So
Is that the first time you guys going?
no,
to
we
this?
do about every 5 years. We'll go to a foreign show. And Phil went the last one. And we pick up a handful of foreign distributors. And, this year with the war going on in Russia, we're not selling much to Russia. So, but that was a good country for us before the war.
Really?
Sold a lot of products.
What's the number one overseas product that you guys sell? Just out of curiosity.
Well, overseas,
Item?
It's probably the pilchard, like Australia, New Zealand, which is our sardine. They call it a pilchard.
Oh, okay.
So that's hands down probably
Oil.
the number one.
Pilcher oil.
Well, and gel for the guys using spoon spinners. I mean, the fisheries are a lot like they are here, just different types of different colors of bait, different. Like I said, they use pilchard and what is it, dabbies?
Yabby nippers.
Yeah.
What?
Sand shrimp. They call it yabby nippers.
Yabby nippers.
Yeah.
So the bottle, does the bottle say yabby
Yeah.
nippers
It
on
does.
it?
Yeah.
I need some yabby nippers. Sent.
Yes.
Yeah.
So is it anchovies from here or there? Like, I know you guys bring everything with fresh bait. So like,
Well, no, we
It's
don't.
from here.
Yeah, it's all from here because we won't export. It'd just be too costly.
oh, sure. Yeah.
But when we send them the sardine and the picture, they say that's exactly the same as their pilchard, same family. They just different name.
But it obviously works.
Yeah,
That's
yes.
still. Because I've seen your guys' warehouse, like where they have like totes of like anchovies or shad or whatever other little crustacean critters you guys. I mean, I walked in there and it looked like a freaking murder scene.
Yeah.
Or I guess it'd be like a morgue.
Well, we moved though
totes
in
and
May,
totes and
so
totes
we're
of
3
bait.
times larger. So we
Yeah.
got a much larger facility, and so I've got 5 times the holding power. So I've got 4 40-foot freezers that are on site for preserved bait, and then we have off-site storage as well. But, so yeah, we're doing I think 43 or 44 different baits that we bring in, and then we do blends. So we have 400 SKUs.
Of just our products.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So you're not just making bloody tuna oil and frying it.
No.
That's it.
No.
Okay.
And we private label for several of the manufacturers where we put their label on it, or we'll do custom blends where we use our label and put.
Yeah.
So we're kind of whores. We'll work with anyone, right? As long as they pay.
Even addicted.
Yeah.
Even addicted. Here you are. Great. Give everyone the fuel fire out there. Gotcha. Real fast, too. So tonight, guys, we're also going to do something that these guys wanted to offer up. We're going to be giving out another prize pack here at the end. But these guys have a challenge for us. And we want to know how many of you guys would email Procure. Where's that lower third? Come on, Clint. There it is.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, my God. He failed.
Oopsie.
Did you guys see that? You guys, for another chance to win a really cool Procure prize pack, you want to say it's like $500 value?
It's about $100 value.
No, 500.
You can say whatever you want.
This scent bottle is invaluable right now. All right, $100 prize pack value, guys. That's a pretty nice prize pack coming from these guys because at the end of the day, it's going to catch fish and it's going to save you guys money and all that good stuff. But if you email Jason at Addicted, you email
Close.
Jason at procure.com. That email address you guys see right there. Clint's going to maybe put it into the chat as well. Email that. We'll enter you guys in for a prize pack selected by them. And hopefully you guys will win that as well. Because we don't want the other team winning.
That's right.
We want one of our guys winning. So be sure to check that out, guys. Email Jason. I want you guys to blow up his email. I know you guys are sitting there watching this on your computer screens and TVs. But if you got your phone in your hand, freaking rip him an email right now.
Because he'll pick
do
it
It's a
tomorrow.
little bit of a challenge for us. How many people we got watching now, Clint? How many people we got watching? We got almost 400 of you. Actually, we got 400 of you guys watching right now. We could blow. I want you to crash his email right now. Jason at pro-cure.com.
And no, we will not spam you.
And no spam, no
No
tell
spam,
them.
no.
Just say, hey, I want to be entered.
It's just
That's
an
it.
innocent contest.
Yes.
Innocent from these guys. I don't know. You might want to say. All right. With that said, so I'm going to remind you guys a couple more times because I want you to blow up his email. I want to hear his phone just ding, 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 ding. Do that, and we'll get you that out too. Okay. Can we send multiple emails? Is it like one email per entry?
Well, we never say it. Yeah, it should be
You know
one.
what?
Keep
They
it fair.
didn't say anything. Just you might want to just throw a few extra ones in there. I don't know.
Just
Let them deal with it. It's not your
Make it
problem.
rain.
If you're bored, make it rain. Yeah. We're gonna make it rain spinning glows in here, baby. Come on. Yeah, let's make it rain. All right. Okay, now we do have well over 400 of you guys watching. So let's talk some springer bait, some springer herring. So you guys have some cured up, ready to go herring.
Natural chartreuse and
Natural
blue.
chartreuse and blue. But we want to walk these guys through the process. This is going to be this is the done process,
Yeah.
right?
And
But
those were all done with these.
they were all done with the liquid brines.
Yeah, which is way
I'm
easier.
going to stop you.
Yep.
Talk about guy goes to store.
Yep.
go to my comments clinics. I'm gonna really want these here just for people's questions' sake. But guy goes to the store, buys a tray of herring out of Fisherman's Marine Freezer, Bob's Freezer, whatever. Looks, says, okay, this is what I need to do, and he brings them home. Then what? Like, start from that process, because a lot of the problems that people have, and I know this just from talking to anglers, doing these live feeds with you guys, is like the proper care of bait, like pre-brine, during brine, and post-brine. Like,
it's crucial.
So even though, I mean, this is obviously probably one of the most important pieces, but there's ways to like defrost, there's ways to take care of, and there's ways to kind of be what to be thinking about when that guy brings that tray herring home and this bait. Then what? Like, he's going fishing tomorrow.
First thing you want to do is when you go to the store is get your herring home. If you're going to use them the next day, is poke holes in the top of the container. And what that'll do is it'll release that air that's been drawn in from the vacuum of the vacuum packed baits. So release that air. So as they thaw a little bit, you want that air to escape so it's not drawing the blood out of the eyeballs and through the scales. Because it'll discolor your herring. It can make the eyes bloodshot if you're using a whole herring especially. So that's the first thing you want to do. Second thing that's very critical is when you don't just reach in there and just tear them off the tray, because what you can do is you can damage scales. So let them thaw a little bit just until you can pick them up easily. Because the worst thing you want to do is just knock a bunch of scales off and have herring that just have no flash.
Or let them sit on the counter for 3 hours when they get too thaw.
Yeah.
So pay attention. Yeah.
So poke a hole, and you'll hear it release the seal. It's not going to necessarily puff up or do anything. Yeah. But you'll hear it. You'll hear air escape into it, I guess, because it's all vacuum seal. And then let it defrost enough to where you can remove the plastic and remove the styrofoam without like peeling the baits off of it.
And it's usually like 7 to 10 minutes, right?
So 7 to 10 minutes. You're talking quickly.
Yeah. So don't poke the holes and walk away from it and go watch a show or something. Yeah, 7 to 10 minutes is usually thaw enough where you can get in, because you want the baits frozen when you put the brine to it. So that's what will absorb it. But like you said, you don't want to rip them out of the bag where you're tearing the scales out. So as soon as they're thaw enough that you can remove them from the tray without leaving scales, that's when you want to put them in the tray, in the brine tub, and pour the brine over.
Well, those scales give you all the flash. So if you knock them off, no amount of brine,
it's no magic.
Nothing's going to do anything.
That's
doesn't make them regrow.
No.
Why haven't you figured that out yet?
It's not. We've tried.
Regenerative brine makes your scales flash better or grow back. Yeah. So take care of your bait, guys. That's kind of the point of that. Make sure that you put, when you take those baits out of the package, sometimes the baits are still stuck together. Break them apart, put them back together.
I usually won't break. My tray's big enough. I don't need to break them apart. My brine tub. So if there's 2 or 3 stuck together, I usually leave them like that. Just set them in my Tupperware container. Pour the brine over them.
Pour the brine right over them.
Yes. If you're breaking them apart, they're too frozen. You're gonna be ripping scales on one fish or the other. So.
And you'll be leaving like half the little tail stuck to the body of the other.
Yeah.
We've all done it.
We've all done it. Yeah. Don't want to do that.
Wait another minute.
Yeah. So making sure you defrost them properly, and then adding them to a tray that's big enough to fit. Like, so, a normal tray of herring, this big or so. But you can literally probably take all 12 of them if they're stuck together, set it flat in the tray.
Yeah.
Fill the brine just right over the top of them.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Just enough to cover them. Like these here, I only put maybe a quarter of the cup or quarter of the jar full of brine, and then the rest I just use distilled water. So even that, there's enough brine in it, especially with the amount of herring that you can put in a container that size. A little bit of water isn't going to hurt.
Okay, so if you run a little short, like you can cover your bait, you can add a little water.
Yeah, distilled water.
Liquid brines, distilled water.
Yes.
You don't just want to pull it from the well water?
No
I got
chlorine, no
something to tell you
fluoride.
afterwards. Yeah. I hope he's not watching. Side joke, because it'd be funny if he was. So this is actually fairly concentrated even for this amount. So if you ever had to add a little water to make sure you got bait
it's not going to
coverage,
hurt anything.
It's not going to, but like a little bit, like 1-to-1, not probably 1-to-1.
No, you want to 3/4 brine, quarter water.
Okay, so a little bit. So.
Yeah.
Because we sell a 16-ounce version of this where you can add 6 cups of water to that on the 16-ounce container. This is the guy says a 31. So we sell this 2 ways. Yeah, we have this size right here. So this right here, you can add 6 to 8 cups of water.
So this is more of a concentrate then?
Correct. It is
versus this guy that's just already ready to go.
It's ready to go. Just pour it over your bait and you're done. That you can pour it over your bait, or you can add water to it, right?
Okay. And what does this stuff do? Like, so what Why is it? What is the importance of like brining the bait? Why are we going through this much trouble?
The main thing is you get a firmer bait. You don't get the blowouts on them, especially in heavier current.
When people talk about blowout, when we cut plug a herring, you have that circular cavity of the body. If that meat is soft and the belly is soft, when you're pulling that, dragging it through, that bottom starts to tear out or open up.
That flares out.
And then as it opens up, once they start to open up a little bit, like just they catch more and more current, and their time that it's going to be a quality. I mean, I'm not saying a fish won't bite it, but a quality fishable bait goes down fast.
Oh yeah. So, if you want it spinning properly, and you want everything working in your favor.
Oh yeah.
And if you can, if you get a
fall fish where there's a million of them.
Yeah. And if you got a good firm bait that's got good scent and everything's right, it increases your odds tremendously.
And so this stuff also helps draw the scales and kind of like takes some of the moisture out of the fish, tightens up the scales, makes them, I guess, a little stickier to the fish.
It just firms it up and it locks the scales. Yeah, it makes them more durable. So even when you're rigging them up, you're not ending up with a handful of scales.
Yeah, because if you take like a fresh, fresh anchovy or fresh herring, and you're like, hold on, like all this fresh stuff we get in the fall, it's just the scales just flitter off everywhere.
Yeah. That's why a lot of guys will just run rock salt among other things. But the only problem with rock salt is you'll have a good firm outer layer, but it doesn't get in and soak into the meat quite as well, and it takes longer for this to dissolve. So this is just a much better approach. You get a firmer, more consistent, more consistent brine.
And then what about scent? Like I know you guys say there's scent and there's amino acids, and like touch on that. So like you're doing it for durability, you're doing it to keep the scales on.
Doing it for all of them, right? Yeah. So it firms your bait up, locks it in, so it'll fish longer, and then it's got the monster bite, the branched chain amino acids, so it triggers the fish to feed. So it's doing three things. It's giving you the bite cement, it's firming it up, and allowing your bait to last longer. And like we were talking about earlier, you can leave these baits at the end of the day, remove them, put them in a baggie, roll them up, get as much air out as you can, throw them in the freezer. And if you're not going to fish for a day or two, put them back out, pull them back out of the freezer, throw them back in your brine. So you can reuse your bait from 2 days old.
Brian's comment. That's a good question. Just because I want to touch on this real fast, you said, can you add scent to the brine? So you guys have the amino acids, you have some of that stuff.
The only scent that I would add to a brine is the pure anise. And the reason is because, like with the oils, you're better off injecting those, because I think it'll get a slower leach and you'll get a longer bait trail. The problem is with adding the oils with the brine, it ends up floating to the top.
Well, the water doesn't mix last time I checked.
Yeah. You just kind of you don't get the right absorption.
It's not hanging on the bait.
Right. But if you sit all your bait with anise and they're not biting anise that day, you might as well just go home.
Right.
So that's why I don't recommend it. I mean, I know that guys are putting krill powder or tuna powder, but other than that, I would inject the baits as we go, or have multiple brine tubs where you can do different scents.
Yeah. What I'll generally do is if I'm doing a couple batches of herring, I'll do a couple bags, one with chartreuse, one with natural, and then I'll do maybe 2 naturals and do one and put some pure anise in it, and I'll have some plain. And then as I go, we'll inject it with different scents, and whatever scent might be working, we'll switch it up as we go.
Right. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Correct.
We talk about that all the time with eggs and kind of everything else you do.
Yeah.
But springers, for the most part, it's pretty, like when you're talking about adding additional scents to the brine, which is the original question, probably just stay away from it.
I would not.
The anise, and then do the injector program afterwards if needed.
Yeah.
So we have 4 rods out. We usually have 4 different scents in the morning, and that way it just from day to day it can
Let
change.
the fish tell us.
Yeah.
Let the fish tell you.
Yeah.
That's right. How long does the liquid brine last unopened? Keep in the fridge or not? And same question for once it is opened.
So unopened like this is probably, as long as you're not cooking it at 110 degrees, there's nothing there to go bad, right? It may get harder to shake up, but I've seen it, 5-6 years in the original bottles we did with no problem.
And then unopened?
And then once you open it,
opened?
once you've opened, there's still nothing to go bad in it. But once you put bait in it, that you need to keep refrigerated. So if you pour a third of that out in a brine tub, the rest of that bottle can just sit on the shelf in your garage or your boat barn. But if you remove your bait from that brine, right, at the end of the day, you got to refrigerate that brine if you want to reuse it.
So once you put fish in, once you basically expose the brine to fish,
Then you need to
that
refrigerate.
part brine needs, but this stuff can just stay. Shelf life doesn't matter. There's nothing that's
There's
going to
nothing
split
gonna
out.
There's nothing to
Yeah.
go bad, really.
A lot of salts and lots of chemicals.
Correct.
Yeah.
We'll get to that one in a bit. Yes, sir.
But the beauty of this stuff is normally that's not an issue because you go through it pretty quick. That's
Well, and if you don't want to go through the liquids, talk about that stuff right there. 'Cause that's the stuff that I prefer to use.
Yeah.
But
well, a lot of guys will like this because it's the same product. We use the same product in here as we do here, but a lot of guys like this because they can fluctuate, use different color selections rather than having a dark chartreuse. They might like it a little bit brighter. The blues, you can get a different color blue. You can kind of mix and match, make your own colors. And also with this, it seems to be the guys that mix their own, they can make it a little stronger, a little more intense if they want, and get a little bit firmer brine out of it. Even though you can tell by this, we put this in this morning, it's already pretty well brined. So they're both a great option. This is just, it's easier to tote around. You don't have to carry a case of, if you're going down to fish the coast for a month, you don't have to take down a whole truckload of brines.
So the instructions are inside, but that you add 2 quarts of water.
I was saying, this makes 2 quarts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that'll do 10 to 12 trays of herring, where these will do 6 to 8 trays.
Okay, so that's really important. So the concentration amount, obviously in this, being able to do, you said 10 to 12
Correct.
trays of herring,
Correct.
and then this is doing 6 to 8.
Correct.
And what that means, guys, is I know, like for the liquid brine, the reason why it does 6 to 8 is like you can brine herring in it, remove the herring, but that brine doesn't have the same concentration of all like the salts.
Correct.
And
It
then,
draws
it kind of
out.
draws it out. So you don't want to use the same brine just repeatedly over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Correct.
You want to freshen that brine. You want it to be potent.
Yep.
You want it to.
So I use the brine for brining the bait the first time, and then at the end of that day, if I'm going to pull bait out and recharge it, I'll save that brine for just recharging those same baits. If not, I start over.
And you start with something
Yeah.
new.
Yeah.
If I'm
Okay.
using a fresh tray of bait, I want the fresh brine.
So for the guys that are going to do a lot of days and a lot of stuff, it might be better to go this route, make your own, add anise or color to whatever you want.
It is a little more costly to go this route in the long run because to get what you get out of these, you do have to get this. You have to get the chartreuse dye.
The monster bite.
You have to get the monster bite. Oh no, this has got the bite stimulants.
yeah,
but
that's
if you
got
want
the bite.
additional monster bite, you need the bait bright. If you want the natural, which is here, and the UV, which is up here,
The UV.
Second. Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Nope. Yep.
and the UV.
So
All
that-
this, you have to buy all that to get what you get in this.
Yeah, so it's actually it's cheaper, quicker, and easier just to do the liquid. But a lot of the guys, like I said, especially
Well,
if
you're
they're
going to
traveling.
do like 40 quarts of brine a year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The bulk.
Yeah, and I like the bulk because what I'll do is I'll mix it up and then I'll pour it in 3 separate brine tubs.
Okay.
And then one I'll do natural, one I'll do blue, one I'll do chartreuse. And then that way with the one container, I've just done 3 different trays of 8 or 3 different colors. But with that, even like when we go down to buoy 10, I won't dump those brines out. So in the morning, I'll put them in baggies, put them in the boat, in the cooler, just with a little bit of brine. I need those bait tubs in the refrigerator with no bait in them. And at night, I just throw them back in the brine for a few hours, right, just to recharge them. And I'll let it go 4 days down there before I'm dumping them out. So I can get
So
4
don't
days.
chuck
out of
your
one-
brine right away after a day of
Not if-
fishing,
not if you're
but If you're
recycling.
just going to keep that same batch together.
Yeah. If you're putting fresh baits out every day, then you want to do fresh brine. That's
Plus, you can go through the jars and look for the brown one, right?
Yeah.
there you
Some
go.
guys only use a brown, some only use
Oh,
a
yeah,
white.
we're going to talk about that. That's
Yeah.
right. So let me see that one. Let me see if it's a good one. I got to see if it's a good one first. Oh, that's a terrible one. Show what we mean, guys. Yeah, we always address this. This is pretty funny. So you guys can see this is the brine of bright. And as you can see, it's as white as snow in there. But if you go down to the store, the sporting goods store, they love you for this. Open up every single container. And what you're looking for is one that's a lot more brown, like more like the color closer to brown sugar.
Yeah.
And that's what you really, and those are the ones that work really, really good.
They
Some
They-
guys swear by it.
some guys
Now,
swear
we
by
don't
it.
think so.
what happens is one of the chemicals in there, once it gets air to it, it'll start turning that off
And
brown.
it's just moisture in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that one chemical starts to go brown. so it's not hurting the
What
product.
chemical is that?
I couldn't tell.
Damn it!
I think it starts
Keep
with a
trying,
G or a
keep
B
trying,
or
guys.
something. But
I keep trying.
no, we probably get a dozen calls a week. The brine is brown. The brine
A dozen
is white.
calls a
At
week.
Oh,
least.
at least.
Why? Okay, so why is it on the label? Like, if this
They don't
bait
read the
turns-
label. First of all, I could put
That's
it
a
on the
good
label,
point. That
but
is
they
a good
wouldn't
point.
read it.
How many labels do
People,
you read?
yeah, I was gonna say, don't touch the wet paint. And they're gonna still
That's
touch
like
it.
directions.
Yeah,
Who
exactly.
uses
No
them?
kidding. Unique formula adds powerful proven bait stimulants into baits, even when brown.
Yes.
That's what it should say right there. There you go.
Well,
Even
that's
when
easy
brown.
Even when brown or
Even
white.
when brown. There you go. I solved the 2 dozen calls a week. So, if you guys get the Procure, and I can tell you I've used both, and you told me that years ago, and it's always kind of a funny thing for those guys. But if you open this up, and it's not Snow White, and it's a little bit brown sugar color, it's still gonna work. It's just some moisture was exposed. And chances are, if you go through and open all the ones
They'll all go
at
brown.
the store,
They'll all get
like
brown.
come back a week later, they'll all be brown,
That's
and then
right.
you can buy them all.
There you go.
Yeah, okay. Or you just do it to yourself. Yeah, there we go. All right, anything else on the brine and bite? Again, don't add oils, don't add scents to this.
I don't recommend
in the
it.
brine method at all. Do you ever fish this? Do you ever like sprinkle this stuff on baits?
Yeah.
Make like kind of like a dry.
It'll firm the outsides, but you don't get it's not as consistent throughout the bait.
If you do a liquid brine to them like that, and do them when they're frozen, it goes all the way through it. Just like curing eggs, right? When you're putting dry powder on the eggs, it quickly will do the outside. But it's a 2 or 3 day process to try to get the cure all the way in.
Yeah.
But you can brine an egg in 20 minutes in a liquid egg brine, right? So the brine just does a much quicker job, more thorough on getting in the absorption rate to your
Makes
bait.
sense.
Does it matter the powdered versus liquid color?
No.
If you wanted to color it.
If you want to color it, he's asking, does it matter if you like?
So even if it's brown and you go to put chartreuse in it, it's not going to look chartreuse, but it's deceiving. You take a paper towel. Once you pour the brown water into your container with a little bit of dye, stick a paper towel in it. That will come out the chartreuse.
Because whether or not this is brown to start, it ends up with a
Brown hue to it.
Yeah,
It
brown
looks
brown.
tannic.
Yeah.
So if you're dyeing it, if you try to dye
Whether
this,
is brown or not, or
No, I just meant like your liquid UV color versus the powder. Like, does it matter if you want, right? Don't you have the liquid?
I have the liquid UV, but I don't have the
We don't
powdered
have
UV.
No, but that's what I mean. If you were to color it, does it matter which one of those that you use to color your bait?
For the UV to put in your brine, you would want just like a couple of drops of this per brine tub. All the scents have UV.
Don't look at me.
No, I know.
You're speaking Greek, bro.
No, because they make 2 ways to color stuff, right? A
liquid?
UV.
Oh,
colorant,
you're
and then
talking
the
Liquid
this.
dye.
No, he's talking liquid dye and
liquid
this
dye.
dye.
Okay.
Oh,
sorry.
Which one works better, or which one?
Yeah, or is there a
Honestly,
difference?
the liquid's probably makes a nice brighter green. This is kind of a lighter green, if that makes sense. It's more vibrant, but not as deep. This is more the kind of liquid color. It turns it a darker green, like this color.
So if you want something that's maybe a little more sharp, or more yellow, go with
The powder.
But if you want something a little more greener, go
Yeah.
with the liquid.
Correct.
Well, and you can even take, and the reason we came out with the liquid, mainly for the kokanee guys, for them doing corn, if they bought a 4-ounce deal of the Badass bait dye, it'd be a 10-year supply for them. So we came out with the liquid instant dye a couple years after we did the Badass powder. But you can alter these colors even with the liquids, with the blue and the chartreuse. If you poured your chartreuse in a tub and put just a little bit of blue in there, you get a really deep dark green. So
Yeah,
you
2
can take
drops.
the two, just
It
put a
don't
little
take
bit in.
much.
Yeah, that blue is nuclear.
Yeah.
Like, green's nuclear, but the blue, like, it doesn't take much.
But
Yeah.
but you can change the color and alter it as well. But
Yeah.
and like I said, with the paper towel, when you're doing if you're mixing it up like Jason's talking with the powdered dyes, before you throw your baits in it, stick a paper towel in the brine tub, pull it out. That's going to be the color your bait's going to look, because it can be deceiving when it's in your brine water, when you're just looking at it. But a paper towel stuck on there will show you the true green or the red or the blue, that whatever.
And with the chartreuse, it's not like the blue. It takes a little more of that to get the color.
Yeah.
And two, what helps make it pop more is just adding a little bit of baking soda to it too. That does help.
And we've added that to our chartreuse in the liquid.
So the baking soda's already in
So
there.
everything you need.
Go raw powder.
Yeah.
You need to help it out.
Timber.
You need to help it out with a little bit of baking soda. They need cliff notes for some of these info videos. Well, guess what, Todd? You can go back and watch this video again. because they are up on our YouTube channel at addicted.fishing at any time. How many people out there emailed Jason at ProCure to win the prize back? We have almost 450 of you guys watching right now. You guys all get into that email, Jason.
We have 106 so far.
106 out of 450 of you watching to win a $100 prize back? Guys, blow his email up. Come on. That's weak. That's weak. That's weak sauce. I mean, we're not 186. It's a game, but you guys could win. Like, you guys will be the benefactors of
That's
this.
right.
Okay. So, let's talk about, I brined it. I ended up with that result. Cool. Now what? No, I'm kidding. We're going to talk a lot about kind of the rigging and the trolling setups in our next week live feed. So I'll take this herring from you guys. And
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
You're welcome to it.
But let's talk about at the end of the day, what are we doing? I know you kind of briefly touched on that, but I think we want to really roll through some of that process as far as removing those baits. Because one thing you told me last year in this live feed was at the end of the day, I defrosted 6 trays of bait, but I made one pass and I had 6 bites and I killed 6 springers, because that's what everybody does every single day of springer fishing, right? Well, are you okay, Clint?
Yeah. I mean, that's me.
No.
That's the
Let's
guy.
just say it's the opposite. So I did 6 trays of bait because I thought I was going to go out and just freaking stick it to them. And we went out and the bite sucked and it was raining really hard, and we went in an hour later and I have 5 trays of bait that I never even touched in the brine. What's the process? But I'm thinking about going tomorrow, or maybe not tomorrow, but I'm thinking about going 3 or 4 days from now. Process on taking the bait out, freezing, saving it. Do I leave it in the fridge? Do I leave it in the brine? What are we doing there?
So if you're going to go tomorrow,
I'm going fishing. I fished this weekend. I'm going next weekend.
Okay, so
5 days.
then definitely remove it from the brine, put it in a gallon Ziploc freezer bags. And if you have different colors, you want to keep them color coded, right? So you don't want to mix the blues with the chartreuse. So each brine tub goes in its own Ziploc baggie. Roll as much air out as you can. Throw it in the freezer, or put it in the freezer.
Okay.
And then cover your brine sluice and refrigerate it. And then
Separate them.
Separate them.
Brine in the fridge,
And the
baits
bait
in
in
the
the
bag,
freezer.
rolled up.
Correct. And not someone where the kids are going to be cramming ice cream and stuff in and beaten up. So hopefully you have a space that's secure in your freezer where they won't be damaged. But the night before you're going to fish again, just remove them from the freezer. Take them out of the freezer bag, put them back in those same brine tubs. And when you pull them out of the freezer, they're going to be a little shriveled up and look cruddy.
Yeah.
Trust me, as soon as you put them in that brine, within a minute, man, they're rehydrated and they look beautiful. You'll never
By
know
the
that
next
they were
morning,
frozen.
they're ready to go.
Yeah. And even if that brine, if you're a little heavy on your salt content, they might be a little shriveled in the brine. But as soon as you hook it up and put it overboard, within a minute, it's rehydrated. The shriveliness is gone. It's perked itself up. It's plump and ready to go.
And sometimes, too, you're talking about a bait being shriveled up and you put it in the water. And sometimes, it does take the brine a little hard, which is fine, because I'd rather have something that's probably a little bit over brine than a lot of brine, because a soft bait's just going to deteriorate fast. And sometimes you put them on your hooks and put them in the water and you try to pull it through. You're not getting that spin. You're not getting that look you want. But you're right. If you just let it sit in the water for maybe a minute or two, and then you come back to it, pull it through the bait, by that time it's rehydrated. Yeah. It's probably lost some of its rigidness, and it's going to start spinning.
Yeah. And it's usually less than a minute. It's usually less than a minute to be fully rehydrated.
It does go really fast. You see some of those guys, they'll put it in there, throw that bait away, and it's you can, but that was probably one that you just fed a springer that we were all going to try to collectively catch later. Don't feed them. No, I'm just kidding. No. But it probably has happened before. So
there was a question too on there about bait scents to run for the for tributary spring Chinook. There's a few that work better than others, it seems like, in a lot of cases. I don't think we brought them, but sardines a fantastic option, and anise tuna, regular bloody tuna, and garlic bloody tuna. All 3 of those are great. As the water warms up, the garlic tuna early on is anise tuna and sardine. Those are all really good options.
And the blends we've done for you guys are pretty spot on as well for the salmon blend.
I think so.
Well, I think so too. Yeah.
Honestly, though, I'll just be full level with people. The blend, more for like that Columbia kind of warm water. Not that it doesn't work in the spring, especially when the temps are up, but like I feel like early springers, maybe not so much, but
I don't know. Here again, I'm Anna's buddy too in the first thing in the morning. So,
you're never
so-
using it, you know.
Early in the season, it's hard to beat. Pure anise is a hard one to beat. Just a few drops of that in your brine, it's good.
A few drops, not half a bottle.
No, 4 drops is more than adequate.
There's an inside story to that. I hope he's not watching. I know he's not watching, but old buddy of mine, Forrest, like he was taking some herring and he was dyeing them black with probably so much of that blue powder in a quart jar, and he was catching them better than anybody out there, like early stuff. I'm talking like first, second week in March. Like, what in the heck are you doing, dude? And he's like, oh, I'm just using anise and making them blue. Well, like his blue, like it looked like it was like your phone. Like it was black herring. Like, I mean, it's dark blue. Like you took half the freaking thing of this in there. And then he's like, yeah, man, but I need more anise. Like, I need more anise. Like, I'm out of anise. Do you have it? And he called me up on like third day of fishing in the season. I'm like, you need? I'm like, well, yeah, come on over. I got a ton. By a ton, I meant like I got a bottle.
Yeah.
Like because, and he's like, well, that's not gonna last me. I'm like, what the hell do you mean that's not gonna last you? He was putting in like a quarter to half of this bottle in each quart jar.
Steve
Holy
likes
cow.
that.
Thank you.
Steve really like, but I can guarantee you.
Take
that if
notes,
he told
take
that
notes,
to
guys.
everybody- Exactly. But I guarantee you, the way he was catching them that year, like over every freaking buddy, like he was crushing them, and everyone was like, "Frick!" I mean, he was smoking them, and he comes over and I'm like, "Dude, you got to be kidding me! Like, you need like 2 drops." But apparently, he was catching them and I wasn't, and he was doing like half a bottle.
Wow.
Well, that gets expensive because this stuff
yeah.
is pure.
That's right. It's
Anise
pharmacy grade
oil.
anise, yes. About 10 years ago,
What's
I
your
noticed that.
recommendation? Not half a bottle?
Not half a bottle, but
Per
we
quart?
thank you. Go right ahead.
Thank you for your patronage.
A couple drops would do fine.
A couple drops would be fine.
But I remember a
Anywhere
couple
between
years
2 and
ago,
4.
there was such an anise bite like Nehalem. Every boat went by you. You just the reek of anise coming off.
Yeah.
I think it was like 10, 12 years ago. Every
People
guy
were
was
showering
loading
in
up.
it.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
way.
It gets kind of weird when the garlic comes out, but you know.
Yeah.
Yep.
We
Yeah.
don't know why, but we just make it. Right.
Well, it works because I mean everyone has seen it, been there, done that. Yeah. Let's see here. What else we got for some questions here, guys? I would freeze them in a Ziploc bag until they are firm. Oh, someone asked, could you vacuum seal the baits?
I wouldn't recommend it because if you don't hit the manual seal, the suction's gonna be too hard. It's gonna crush or collapse your baits. So unless you're gonna be standing right there and so when it looks like it's about right, hit the manual seal.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna goof
So
them
bring
up.
the bag down, and then once it's kind of even, you don't want to go past that.
Correct. Yeah. So,
Yeah, if you think about it, if you take
Then-
a defrosted brine herring,
just
and you're
Yeah.
gonna draw a lot of that.
you're doing what you were avoiding when you were
when
taking
you-
them out of the bait tray.
So I don't recommend it just because I'm not quick enough on the button. So I just use a baggie, and I've had no problems with any freezer. But a week, you're not gonna have any issues with it.
A week, you're not gonna have any
Yeah.
issues with it. A lot of times, what I'll do with the stuff that I think is past its prime, Steve's literally telling me for years like it's not past its prime. But what I think is past its prime, 3, 4 days, 5 days, of, in the brine, out of the brine, saving the bait, like bringing it as backup. I'll tell my process here in a minute, like what I try to do because I'm fishing multiple days. We talked about weekend to weekend, but I'll save that bait and just keep throwing it in like a big 2-gallon Ziploc bag. Like when I'm done with it, when I even though I probably shouldn't be done with it, when I'm done with it, and I save it for lingcod bottom fish.
Yeah.
And I'll just keep stacking it. At the end of the season, usually I got a freaking couple nice bags of bait that I forgot to take out, put it in the fridge the night before. I'm like, I don't want to use that, but I don't want to throw it away because I paid a lot for that money.
Yeah.
And it works fantastic. Even
Oh, heck yeah.
3-4 months later, taking it out of that bag and looking at it, like when I'm hooking it up to like put down for lingcod or put down to feed it to bottom fish, it still looks fantastic. Like I could probably cut like this and throw it out there right now and catch one.
Yeah,
Like-
I found some that I froze. Shoot, they're probably 2.5 months in the freezer. Forgot all about them. Thawed them out. Put them back just for giggles. Put them in the brine. If I'd have shown them to you, you would have never known, right? I mean, I knew because I did it, But I could have shown him to Jason, he would have known. I mean, it's
Is
crazy.
that what you say for your buddies' rods when you go out fishing? And then they catch a fish on it, right?
Probably.
You know, I would have used it. I mean, I wouldn't because they're so few and far between the springers. But
Yeah.
you know, for a fall fish, I would have used it no problem.
Fed it to an ocean cow. Yeah. Gotcha.
Absolutely.
All right. Serious question here. Are you going to make a pheromone scent? That's a good question. Like, so I'm taking you mean something like an ultrabite or something?
Well, who's to say we don't have a pheromone in our monster bite?
Ooh, do you?
So there's 4
Do you?
components in the monster bite, but I can't say what they are.
Oh, well, there you go. Like,
Yeah. So
there you
yeah.
go. Horse, here's the water. Like, yeah. So what? Yeah. So, yeah, because, well, if you smell monster bite, don't taste it, by the way. I tell you.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
It's
I wouldn't need
weird.
it.
It's weird.
Hey,
It made me tingly.
Yeah, probably don't do that. You're not going to figure it out. But yeah, there's definitely some funky stuff in there.
Yes.
I don't even want to know what I just put in my mouth.
Yeah. No. I wouldn't put it. Yeah. Avoid.
Oh.
Ingesting it.
Avoid ingesting it.
Yes.
Okay, well, shit. All right, let's see here. Is it better to brine the herring while it's whole or cut plug it first?
Do it when it's whole. It keeps all the scent and everything kind of locked in. If you cut plug them and then brine them, you're kind of letting out some of the scents that they have.
So you're, because I know some guys that will like cut plug them and then put them back in the brine, cut plug and the heads because they want to make a soup.
Yeah, and I understand for a guide if you're running 6 or 8 rods and you've got to be rigging up, quickly, in the morning, pre-cut up a bunch. But ideally, brine them whole because you are losing a lot of vital oil that leaves that bait. It may be sitting in the brine tub, but it's not in that bait. So if you're pre-plug cutting a bunch of baits, you're losing some of the key scent.
And it's not that you're not going to catch fish with it. It's just all those little tiny those little.
You're
things
right.
that
You
make a
see it. You
difference.
see it on the top of the brine, like because I'll do that. I'll like at the start of the day, I'll get ahead of myself and cut a few more extra cut plug and throw them in there. And then you're right. You do see kind of like the oils and like the fish oils that you don't see before on top. And you're right. Then you're taking that bait out, and it was in the bait. And now it's not to say that it maybe doesn't go out of the bait a minute after you put it down.
Sure.
But at least
that minute could have been bit.
How many times you been in your hands? But like it's down there and not in your jar.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
Clint's learning how to springer fish right now, boys.
Yeah.
There you go. How many people got watching here, Clint? Ooh, getting over 450 now. Let's see here. Well, have you guys all emailed Jason? I know we left it. I like how you left the email up there. You're just tuning in. You're new. Addicted prize pack, $100 drawing, $100 addicted. Oh my gosh, I'm totally screwing that up. This is what happens when we fish. Like, I know a lot of you guys tuned in a little later. We have over 450 guys watching. I just got off the river. Jason was still in his waders. Long days. But if you email jason@procure.com, that email address you see in the green square at the bottom of the screen, you'll be entered to win a $100 Procure prize pack. Procure prize pack.
Yes.
There we go. I know it's hard to read them all, but a lot of good questions getting passed up. Be cool. And what's so funny is it rolled off the screen as Clint was supposed to catch that. So, yeah. Be cool to get the answers. Well, Levi, if you guys asked a very good, relevant question, that's my producer's job to catch those and to keep reminding us. So, yeah.
I put them up, but you don't answer
Well,
them.
sometimes we
Jason
don't.
went back. Yeah.
Sometimes we don't. Here's a good question from Scott. Do you take out the guts and split the anus, or do you just leave the guts in and go with it? Okay, you're laughing because you think I stopped because we said anus, because that's how immature you are, and you're still laughing like a bumbling idiot over here in the corner. This is a kid's show.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay. What happened was, guys, is it's right halfway reading the question, it scrolled off the screen. So when I stopped, Clint thought it was funny. But here's the question on the screen, because now he's actually being a producer. What do you guys do? Do you pull the guts?
I pull the guts.
And do you split the anus?
I do not.
No, if you're in a really heavy current, maybe, if it's going to be an extreme tide, maybe, but usually.
What is that? What do people think that achieves? Or does it achieve? Or what does it achieve? Splitting the anus.
They're saying that the water, if you're plug cutting your bait, right, that way the water will travel through it. But they're feeling that it'll travel through it instead of just hitting that cavity and stopping. But it still is not. I know guys
It
that
still
try.
is not.
It's not. But I know guys that'll take
Steve
time.
says it's not. All you guys splitting the anus? You're an idiot.
Like camera black.
I don't cut the bed. I don't.
Yep.
What are you talking about, Clint?
No, that's what I'm talking about. You don't poke a little hole in yours?
No.
Oh, I thought you do.
No, I was one of the guys that don't. But you see that question a lot.
Yeah.
Do you guys have your plug cutter here? Did you bring one?
No.
We might have one. Yeah. And as I say, do we have a knife? I go, let's talk a little bit about this. Where'd that box? The box of goodies now?
There was one.
The thing about showing you guys, but what he's basically talking about, so if you can imagine a plug cut herring, you guys can always go on the YouTube and look at some of the addictive fishing videos and tutorials because we have lots of plug cut stuff on there. When you cut the plug cut, you have the belly cavity open, but a lot of guys will take their knife and open up the vent, open up the anus more so water can flow through it. It takes supposedly less pressure off the belly cavity so it doesn't blow it out. It's not a bad, you're making more of a tube instead of like a cavity pulling through the water. I don't know. But you don't think it makes a difference?
I really don't. You
don't do it either?
I don't do it. No. Okay. It's just another step to keep your bait out of the water longer.
Another step to keep your bait out of the water. Okay. I'm going to get you guys in so much trouble. People are like, I split the vent.
No.
That's okay.
Everybody has their own opinions, right? I mean, that's what makes it nice. Everybody has their own different
Let's
way.
go to the whiteboard. Oh, my God. We could actually go to the whiteboard, but I think most of you guys know what we're talking about. We'll save the whiteboard for something else. But that was Bob Ross's, please.
Well,
you guys know what I'm talking about.
Phil wrote a book too, right?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Oh, and Phil wrote a book. Does he talk about that in the book?
I'm sure he does.
Gotcha.
And he might have a different opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah.
Oh.
I could call him and ask him.
Hey, Phil, we're on the
Thanks, Sam.
Yeah.
I'm not going to post
That was the T-ball. Come on, buddy. All right. Okay, just fish them whole. Yep, that works too. Okay. Let's see here. I don't want to see Cam drawing buttholes on the whiteboard. Okay, that's fine.
Oh my God.
Question on ProCure oils or gels better for springers? It just depends on what you're using. If you're using herring, go with the oils. If you're using lures or something you want your scent to stick to, run the gels. They're both a great option. Just depends on what you're using.
And if it's in a spin fish or a super bait, it should be the gel.
Yeah.
Or the fish nip.
But not the oils?
Well, the oil in a spin fish is just gonna come right out. Right? So if you're packing with a gel, it'll be a slower release.
Oh, gotcha.
But we love it. Sure, buy 8-ounce bottles of oils, pack that thing, and then every 2 minutes reel it in.
It's like half. It's like using half bottle of this every time. 1 quart right here.
Just fill the cavity with pure anise.
2 quarts of pure anise. Oh my gosh. Talking about water soluble scents. That's a very good question. Said somebody that I wish I could see because Brandon. Talking about where I don't see no water solubles up here.
I don't run them as much during the spring. What a lot of guys do add it to their brine though. You can, but again, you're dedicating that whole batch to that one set. Yeah. Guys will inject that too. That's another option. You can do it you can do anything you want with it. It's a faster scent disbursement, big cloud of scent, but it doesn't last quite as long as the oil. It's another good option, but ideally it's made for feather jigs, that type of thing, where it's more porous material where it'll stick to, but not mess up your lures or your.
Mainly the fly guys and bobber and jig. We did the water solubles for. But like I said, the brines are good, but we have so many other products. We are not using them.
I mean,
we just have too many
like
choices.
You said, the oils are gonna like cake on. And,
the water soluble I use a lot, Twitch and coho, stuff like that, or I'll use the water solubles when I'm using like side drifting in the wintertime with eggs. I'll run water soluble with bait. So
How the hell do you clean the gel out of a spinfish, super bait, etc.? I've run them in the dishwasher and they still don't come off.
So
They're so.
That's probably what
No.
I want to do in the dishwasher.
easiest way is take like one of these quart jars, fill it half full of liquid WD-40, put your a couple spinfish in there, put the lid on tight, shake it up just for 10, 15 seconds. Rinse it off, right? That the WD-40 will break that gel base down, get all the stink out of that spinfish.
You gotta put half a can of WD-40 in there?
But the cool thing
Liquid
is,
WD-40.
the liquid WD, you go buy
You buy it
a
in a
gallon of it
container.
at
Oh.
Home Depot or any of your hardware stores. But you can leave that, that'll last you all summer. You don't pour it out. It'll keep cleaning for you. Time and time again.
Tuna and gels.
It
in there,
doesn't- it'll
matter.
break it down.
It breaks it down.
Yeah. Our whole week at Buoy 10 doing, it's still, I use the same thing now 2 years in a row. But I'm only using it for 10 days in a whack, right? But I have the same container sitting on the shelf that we've used for 10 days in a whack, all the spinners, spoons, everything we're using. I just throw it in there, shake them up, hit them with a garden hose.
Yep.
And when they're dry, they're completely odorless. So it breaks down all the gel, gets in between all the swivel.
Yep.
It just makes it easy.
Yeah, I mean, because when we get to those, like, for us later on, we get those real, like, super bait-centric
Yeah.
fisheries, that wouldn't be a bad idea because everybody out there on this live feed has fished a super bait, and everybody in this room has forgotten one. Or didn't rinse one out all the way, or thought they cleaned one all the way, and you put it back in that box or that bag, and then you find it a week later.
No, like I
And
said,
then
it
you got to
gets in.
figure out which one it is.
Yeah, it does a beautiful job.
Just
Just shake
mix
it up. Don't leave it in. Like I said, you can do it in a matter of 20 seconds. Shake it up, hit them with a garden hose and the faucet.
And it's
If they're
done.
really caked on, you might need to go 30 seconds. But usually, it's like on the spoons and spinners that we're cleaning. If it's 10 to 15 seconds, just shake it, throw them on the ground, hit them with a hose.
That's what we use to clean all our machinery in between batches is WD-40.
No kidding.
So you're buying like the big metal tin of this.
We got
sturdy
55-gallon drums.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because you
But in the hardware, yeah,
you're
just a
using it to
1 gallon
clean
metal container.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's kind of.
And it's legal to use it as, so it's a heavy duty petroleum. So you're not allowed to use it in the Columbia for scent. It's illegal to use as a scent in the Columbia River. But it's legal to clean your lures with it. So I see a lot of guys spraying their stuff with it right before they're putting their lures out. It's no longer an attraction. It used to be made with cod liver oil 13, 14 years ago. But the price of cod liver oil went through the roof, so they reformulated it. There is no fish attractants in WD-40 anymore.
Well, what about all these guys that still catch fish on it?
When fish are biting, you catch them on your shoelace.
When fish are biting, you catch one. That is actually true.
So you bet. You know, the preparation age or what, I don't know. We hear it all. When there's a good bite on, I guess it really doesn't matter. But when this comes in to be effective is when it's a slow
Right.
bite. That's when this is
Right, when
crucial.
you need it, when you
Yeah.
want it, when you want it bad.
Yeah, when there's a shortage or a few fish and a lot of boats, you want to be the guy.
Few fish, a lot of boats, you want to be the guy, and that's why you sell a lot of different stuff.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's pretty good because I can tell you, like, when I get into some of those, like, super bait-centric ones, it'd probably be worth that little mason jar.
Yeah.
With half of that, like the WD-40.
I was using your soap. It did a pretty
The
good
soap
Yeah,
does a good
yeah.
job
Soap
too.
is like the
But
best
it's all
next
it's
thing.
the problem is it's like essentially like not in the super baits, but like the spin fish. Like when it's like down in there and you gotta take a pipe cleaner practically to clean that stuff out. If you have something that'll just cut it, like that's
It breaks it down beautiful.
really good.
But don't put your baits in there and then walk away from it and
No,
come
man,
back the
I
next
have
day.
WD-40.
It'll take the paint off.
He goes, wait, you don't have WD-40? I have WD-40. What he's saying is like actually filling a quart jar with like that much liquid of
Yeah.
the liquid stuff. Yeah, where can I purchase my very own Jason Hamley? I don't know. What's the cost?
$50.
$50. Oh. Damn, cheap date.
Sam's quick to throw them out there.
Oh boy. Let's see. Any other questions, guys? When should I be using Slamola powders? So we talked about oils.
Yeah.
We talked about water solubles, but you've got this other stuff up here. You got extra sodium sulfite, Slamola powders. What is a Slamola powder?
Go ahead. No.
Basically, this has got the Monster Bite materials in it, but it's got a lot of firming salts in it. So if you're doing your high water thing, or if you're in between tides and the current's ripping, you want to go drop anchor. It's a great idea if you're cutting sardine fillets or whatever you're wrapping your baits with, is to put this on and it'll help firm that bait up, help it hold together a little longer. And it also adds the bite stimulants. So it's good stuff.
So it's a real. Is there any like sulfites or anything in it? Is there anything like a chemical like stimulant
There's
like
a lot of
sodium sulfite
chemicals.
is?
Oh yeah.
But there's firming salts is a lot
Yes.
of chemicals.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
So
we
it's
make
not
it.
just a salt. Not that salt's bad, but
No, it's not just salt.
No.
And then we make it two ways. We have a
What else is
regular
in there?
and the garlic.
what else is in there?
I don't know. Buy it and have it broken down. You tell me. Well, compare
Taste it,
notes.
Cameron.
No, you can't taste that. Yeah, you don't. You smell that stuff, and it's like you don't want to taste it.
Oh yeah. And the garlic stuff is also great to add in with your fish nip or tuna concoction that you're making for your spin fish.
I've used a lot of that garlic slammo over
Yeah.
the years.
Yeah.
A lot. And this year, especially with a certain forecast that's higher than
Yes.
normal. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm not gonna take that bottle.
We're leaving everything here.
As any other. Oh, we're giving it away to everybody. Except that. Yeah.
You get a bottle.
I get the bottle. You get
Yeah.
the bottle. Let's see here. What? Let's see here. Any other questions, guys? I think we kind of ran. Let's look. Anything else you want to add for prepping your bait? We talked about long-term storage, adding stimulants. Talked about slamola. Would you do anything with sodium sulfite right now with the springers?
I'm not. No.
Outside the tribs,
Yeah. I mean, further up.
Yeah,
river.
once tributary stuff.
Yeah.
May, June.
Yeah.
But like early stuff, it's more
I would not.
kind of an El Natural.
Yeah.
Give them what they're eating.
That's right. Keep it familiar to them.
Keep it familiar to them. I like that.
Yep.
It's less like the sense.
If the scent freezes or gets too hot, is it still good, and how long does it last? Great question, BMAC. And BMAC, that was such a great question. I want you to email orders at addicted.fishing because you just want a price back. That's what we're going to do. Did you see that? Good question. Give them a price back because that's going to really. That's a very good comment. Very good question that we do actually get a lot, and I know you guys get this
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
So let's run through like.
Our scents they will freeze up. They do get hard. We do make one scent that doesn't. It's the Mr. Ice Hole Gel. It's made for ice fishermen. It's got an anti-freezing agent to it where it won't get too hard to use.
And no UV in it.
And no
Your
UV.
Your vertical jigging. So
Yeah.
with the UV, we found it was traveling up the line. So we removed the UV from the Mr. Ice Hole. But it won't harm the gels or oils to freeze it.
No.
Once they thaw out, they'll be fine. It will harm them if they're in hot temperatures, leaving on the side rail of the boat at a 110-degree day,
Yeah.
and they're out there for a weekend, throw it away, right? I mean,
Oh.
if you take a cooked shrimp home from a restaurant, you got 5 days to eat it before it stinks up your refrigerator. Our shrimp is the same shrimp that we're grinding up that you're getting in the restaurants and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
It's stabilized, but it's not stabilized to
Yeah.
cook.
It's stabilized, but once it boils, it,
yeah, once
it
you cook it,
splits.
that process starts. But you'll know it. If you smell it and it still smells fishy, you're fine. But if you smell it and it hits you right in the gut,
If it
and
goes rancid,
there'll
it
be
will
no
go
doubt in your mind.
rancid.
It will, and there'll be no doubt in your mind if
Okay.
it's still good.
Yeah,
So I
because
tell
everybody-
everybody just take a quick sniff, and if it doesn't make them gag, it's good.
Right. It should smell fishy because,
Yeah.
well, it's made from fish or shrimp or prawn or other secret stuff. But, yeah. If you
Phil-
smell it and it smells like a dead, rotten garbage
Ooh.
sack fish,
Yeah. Jason kept saying, "When am I gonna? When do you know? When do you know?" And when he found one a couple of years ago, went, "Holy crud!" I
You
knew.
knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no doubt.
Now Phil recommends every year you throw it all away and just buy new.
well, I say every month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Every season.
They got a week shelf life.
Thank you. Once you pop this top, time clock's ticking. You better use it. You better call Jason and buy another one.
So the oil has a high range of 5 years, and the gel is 8 to 12, depending on how much
5 years. You said 5 years for the
oil,
oil.
and
8
8
to
to
12
12
for
on
the
the
gel.
gel.
Years.
Years.
Yeah, give or take. It's they last a long freaking time.
That's if you don't cook them.
Yeah.
If you don't, and what I do and try to get other people to do is I put mine all in like a little Playmate cooler. Just keep them. It keeps all the scents together, but that way you can close it up on a hot day and it's not taking the heat, right? So in our springtime, it doesn't matter. You can leave the scents out all over the boat; not going to hurt it. But in August, September, you don't want them sitting on the side rail of the boat. Or just put them in a little cooler. That way you can close it up, and it won't get 100 degrees in the cooler.
As far as how long,
Yeah, he said how long is too long for that? heat?
it's hard to gauge that, but obviously it's going to take some time. It's not you're not going to do it in an hour.
Well, Well, like in Sacramento, the guys there in their hot summers,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't get hardly any spoilage from those guys. You know, the guys are using it when they forget and leave it on the side rail, so it's pretty durable. But we just preach everybody, don't do it, right? Just keep it out
There's
of the
going to
main
be a
heat.
point where it's going to go bad, and
Yeah.
it's going to be when you want it, of course. And
Sure.
then you're not going to want to use it because it's going to.
But I
For us
Be
just to
rough.
say at this temperature at this time, it's hard to say, but it takes a lot. But you don't want to get in that habit. It's not good.
Can you freeze the oil and pack it in bait like ice cubes?
Never tried.
I mean,
I
that's
don't
not
know.
a bad idea. Like a
Yeah.
slow leach oil, like
Use it in
a
your crab
paste-
pot.
like a paste
Bet that
or crab
melts
pot.
pretty fast, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I bet it would. I bet
Yeah.
it would not last. It's all getting spun around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some guys add the liquid UV to the brine. Steve mentioned the UV traveling up the line. Do we risk illuminating our leaders if we add it to our brines and play with the bait, then touch our leaders? Good question, Chris.
It's not. It really doesn't make much. So handling your baits a little bit doesn't affect it. But when you're put a ton of shrimp gel,
The gel,
on
because the
the
gel's
jig.
sticking already.
and then as it's traveling out, then you're vertical jigging. That's where we see it on the finder, right on your screen. You will see the line, but you'd have to get a bunch of oil, the Procure oil and gel on your hands, and then just play all over your leaders in order to light it up.
You'd have to coat it.
Yeah.
You'd have to
So,
coat it. Where the
normal-
gel, if you coat it, it's engineered really to stick.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
staying where it's going.
But
It's like sunscreen.
Theoretically, yes. If you have UV on your hands, you touch your line, it's going to get UV on your line. Yeah.
but we don't see our lines though
I-
on the fish finders when.
Especially when you're trolling, I don't know if it would hurt anything.
But I can understand like a vertical jig presentation, what you're talking about, something where like
The fish is
You're
coming
in
up
ice
in a
hole.
stationary
Something-
position and
yeah,
you're coming up to it. And,
You cut a hole in the ice, you stand right over the hole.
yeah.
right, versus a trolling where Sam theoretically it could come from
Yeah.
behind and
Yeah.
That's right.
yeah. Well, that's
But even with that being said, hover fishing, you're pretty much darn near in a stationary position. And
Yeah.
all our products has UV in it, and I've never noticed it where it hurt anything.
You've caught a couple hovering.
We caught a couple.
I've seen you. I've seen you catch a couple hovering,
Yeah,
like a
so I
couple
don't
more
know.
than me, like every damn day.
I don't
Yeah.
know about all that. But.
Making the guys using the Procure look bad. Whatever, dude. That's how it is.
Do the oils have UV or just the gels?
The oils have the
Everything.
UV. We put UV in everything, other than the Mr. Ice Hole line.
Okay. So UV and everything, and Monster Bite and everything.
Yes,
Monster Bite and everything.
and everything.
Everything. Except the rock salt.
Yeah. How long is too long to cure before fishing? So, did you have time in preparing your bait? How long is too long to cure?
Well,
Can
2
you go
days.
2 days?
I mean, I know some guys will leave the brine. They'll take the brine tubs from the refrigerator, the boat, back to the refrigerator, up to 3 days. I think that's too long in the brine itself. But they say once they plug it, put it over it, it actually rehydrates. But we buy enough bait. I won't do that, right? I'd rather take it out, put it in the freezer, use a different batch. I don't want to keep it unfrozen for 3 days.
Yeah, because I think it starts to break down. The smell changes too. I don't like it after too many days.
We got a super chat from Brandon here. He goes, does the bait spice have bite stimulants in it? And what is the bait spice? I don't see any up here.
It's a scented rock salt, and no, that does not have bite stimulants in it.
Well, it might, because we're putting tuna oil in it, which is
In
loaded
one of
with
them.
Yeah, so that's a tricky. The bait spice,
They
Yes,
don't even know
yes,
what's in
yes, but smaller amounts.
much smaller amounts.
Yeah.
But yes,
Smaller
it does.
concentration.
Yes.
What else is in it?
So the cool thing with bait spice, nobody knows what's in it. I mean, we don't even know when we're dehydrating. When we're dehydrating our baits to get the pH right, it could have crawfish, threadfin shad, gizzard shad, emerald shiner, right? To whatever bait they're doing, and then instead of throwing that rock salt away, we capture it, put it in pint containers, and then put a little tuna oil in with it. So it's got crawfish, threadfin shad. I mean, every jar smells a little different.
That's why when you open it up, you can look in there and see all the chunks of bait in it.
Yeah. So we're going green. Instead of throwing it away, we're reselling it.
Well, I'm sure it probably adds an essence of.
If you put a scoop in your brine, it does change your brine tubs, right? I mean, it's crazy. I mean, especially if it's got sardine and crawfish in it, it just makes you a unique. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Let's see here. Thoughts on different salts for brines, kosher versus rock. Sea salts seem to absorb different.
The finer salts will dissolve and absorb quicker. Like if you were just to use rock salt and distilled water, you couldn't get your baits brine in 6 hours, where you could with this liquid here. So this will do a much quicker and more thorough job than just a rock.
When you say not brine, it doesn't brine throughout as well with the rock salt.
Just not as dissolved.
You'll have that firm feel on the outside, but it's not done quite as evenly.
Can you use more ice cream rock salt? For your brine?
You can.
But it's rock salt.
But it's rock salt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a little heavier. You'd rather have the finer.
The finer. I want it to dissolve. I want my brine tub pretty well dissolved, so it's going right into the bait.
Pickling salt,
Yes.
non-iodized.
Yes.
Pickling, non-iodized.
Yeah.
Think there's a difference between iodized and non-iodized?
I'm not smart enough to know, but I mean, some guys do say there's a huge difference, and that's why everything's non-iodized for the fishing. And I don't know. I personally haven't researched enough to know the difference. But I do know everything we stock in our shop is non-iodized.
Just to be safe.
Yeah.
Why worry about it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, any last minute questions?
A lot of these we already answered, so people.
Yeah, and like I said, if you guys just got in here late, remember, these guys are well knowledge. We ran through some of the process on defrosting, curing, and prepping your bait, and then also how to store it after the day, before the day, whatnot. The video will be live on our YouTube channel, I think right after this, and the auto uploads, right? Something like that. So be sure to check that out. If you guys want to fall back on any other questions that we may have already answered. I see you're right, some people are asking questions that we did kind of already answer. Let's do this. I'm going to do one more chance for you guys. Real quick question. We got just a few more minutes left here. Don't forget, everybody on here, there's over 450 of you guys right now. Okay, I emailed Jason. Thank you, Brian. I need you all to email at jason@procure.com. Right there, that green box. Enter yourself. Just say, I'm entering it just to win.
We're at 204.
We're at 204 already.
Well, that's pretty good. That's over half. That's awesome.
That's already half of you. But I think we have to, for some reason, the number 300 really just rings a bell that we just have to beat. We have to beat 300. I need 96 of you guys. And I know you're out there.
You didn't talk about that.
Because there's way more of you.
Charging that up.
I don't remember. I need you guys to email Jason. And you're entering yourself to win a prize pack. A prize pack of $100 value. I said $500 value, but they're saying 100. It's kind of.
You can say whatever you want.
You know. Email again, sure.
But it's
Go ahead.
It's a Springer themed prize.
Correct.
It's a
Yes,
Springer themed $100 prize pack. I want you guys to email that. Look at that. Everyone's like, I did it. That's perfect. All right. So while you guys do that, we're going to give you a chance to talk about that fish nip real quick because we didn't get a chance of that. It's the last thing remaining on the table. Then we're going to prick our prize pack. And any other questions real quick? We're going to roll through them. So talk about the fish nip.
Yep.
What the hell is that? Go side cam.
I'm sure many of you have seen it in the stores, but it's
It's
pure tuna bloodline, and it's stabilized to get good shelf life out of it. And if you're running spin fish and
There you go. Ooh, fish nip.
super baits and
Should
all
we
that,
open this now?
if you want.
No. No, I don't.
It's a great thing to add into your clamshell lures, and you can also tweak it any way you want by using chemicals, especially as the season progresses and the water starts warming up a little and the herring bite slows a little bit. It's a great item. We
So
do
this
quite
is
well
made
with
out
it.
of the tuna bloodline,
Yeah,
Correct.
and you can actually see like some of the chunks. I was gonna say like the sinew and the
right.
stuff like that. You can actually see it in the fish nip. I honestly don't use a lot of fish nip because I need a lot of it to get through a season. Look at that, guys. It's all vacuum sealed in there.
But the key is when you open it up is to put some tuna oil or sardine or herring oil. That way it'll absorb the oil and it softens it up. Because right now it's packed pretty firm.
Yeah, it's like a rock.
Yeah. So I break it up into a Tupperware container, put a little oil to it, like the night before I'm going to use it, then put it in the bait fridge, and I tell you it's awesome the next day.
It works
All right,
well.
you got to go fishing tomorrow. If you don't catch a fish, a Brad super bait, your life depends on it. What are you putting in it?
I like this, and I just charge it up, right? I mean, because this has krill powder in it. It's got the bite stimulant in it. It's instead of taking the canned tuna and then adding all these other ingredients, it's already been done right here. I mean, everything that we would.
That's a can of tuna on steroids.
If I had to
Yes.
go tomorrow and my life depended on it, I'd probably use a herring.
Well, okay, I meant like in the fall. I just said the fall. I thought I said the fall. Yeah, so if your life depended on
I'd
it,
be
you had
using
one
this-
day, one thing, you'd be fishing it, charged up with some bloody tuna oil.
Yeah.
Bloody tuna oil.
Yes.
Soaked in the night before.
Yeah.
What about you, Jason? Same thing? You fish nipper?
In the fall,
Mhm.
it works well.
Life depends on it.
Life
You have to
depends
catch
on
a
it.
fish on it right now. Fish nip or a can of tuna with something else. Give the people what they
50-50.
want.
Uh,
50-50.
We've
What?
done
We've done just as good either way.
we've done that. One
Like
side
you
of the
said,
boat
but there's
we'll do it.
But there's a million other steps doing the raw can of tuna.
Sure, this is
versus
everything's
that.
right
That's just
here.
ready to
It's
go.
easy.
Yeah.
It's
It's
loaded
no
and ready
different
to
than
go.
what you were talking about with the liquid brines and all those other things.
We've
and
we've
the
done
dyes
it.
and all
We've
that.
done it.
You've probably
We've done them
fished it to
on
death.
all four sides of the boat, and we've had just as good a success with that as we had with the tuna.
But that's just pre-mix and ready to
Everything's
rock.
ready to
So
go.
if you're a new angler and you're still trying to figure all the formulas and stuff out, you don't have to do that.
Get a bloody tuna oil and this.
Get a bloody
and,
tuna
and,
oil and some fish nip.
Yeah, and a super
It's
bait or
easy.
spin fish and load it up and go.
Let it rip.
Yeah.
There you go.
Is that something you guys did, or was that Cody?
We did this with Cody.
Cody.
Cody is the one that came to us and saying what he wanted. He wanted us to first do cat food with it. So there's a lot of discussion when we couldn't get we could get tuna scraps. So we went we convinced him to do all real. So that's just bloodline tuna scrap. So
Cody Herman in the fall, that's pretty much all he runs in all the spin fish he runs is that. He does well with it.
He catches a couple.
Yeah.
He said a couple more than me. Sit. All right.
Cool.
Fish nip. Great show. Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys coming in. Let's pick. How many of you guys here? Okay, comment below if you email Jason one more time, because basically it's entering into the randomizer for our last prize pick of the night. Appreciate it, Rose. It's a great show. Thank you.
240. You got 60 more to meet.
Oh, 240.
Cameron's number.
Oh gosh, this is so easy. And the per capita, give me a break. Yeah, we already know. We know where it's at. You're welcome. Cool.
Wait till next week, because they're gonna keep coming.
Oh, that's right. We don't stop.
Yeah.
That's right. This doesn't die tonight. I mean,
okay, so then when
thousands and thousands
so
of
then
people
when
are
do
going
we
to watch
draw?
this tomorrow. So when are you drawing this?
well you tell us.
We can wait a week.
Next week. You got to wait a week. You
All
got to
right.
wait a week.
Next
wait a week.
Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
We'll draw next Wednesday. Let
Okay,
you know.
so this is actually going to marinate for a week on the YouTube channel. Oh, it's over.
So
Yeah,
we'll text you the
cool.
winner's information. We'll send it out. We'll send you the winner's
Oh, okay,
information
cool.
that you can announce on your
Sick.
show.
All right, we'll tune in next Wednesday. They'll draw it on sometime on
And
Wednesday.
it'll be a really good prize pack.
It'll be a really good prize pack, and they'll
Yep.
let us know who won. That's sick. Pretty cool.
Perfect.
Awesome. But we got one more prize pack. Thanks again for tuning in tonight. Thanks again for coming, guys.
Yeah, thanks.
Appreciate it. Wealth of Knowledge. We'll get you guys back in here shortly, as always. Next week, I think I'm going to bring a couple other dudes in here. Good salmon trollers. We're going to talk about more about the rigging and the technique, kind of where and when to troll, kind of like all that part of it. But this is such an important piece to get out, start early, because a lot of this stuff, you're not going to find it in the stores later on.
Everybody loads up and it
Everybody
sells out
loads
in a
up.
month, and then they forget all about it.
Everybody loads up so much on this that I contacted Jason last fall and said, yo, I need a couple cases of the brine and mud.
Yeah.
And he delivered them, because I know you had them at that time, but you won't
Yeah.
have them in a week.
Right.
I'm delivering cases tomorrow to one of Jason's buddies.
Yeah.
There you go.
So,
Yeah. So get on it. Get on it quick. We're all kind of about preparing for the seasons, getting ready, giving you guys the best chance out there for success. Here you go. Check it out. Also, don't forget your dyes, all the scents and stuff, because like I said, we're hopefully going to have a great season. Right now, I don't see anything super scary in the weather. Snowpacks are kind of right where they need to be.
Yeah.
Things are going to be, I think we're going to have good trolling here.
I think so
We're gonna have
too.
a really good trolling here. I'm excited.
Yep. I think it's going to be a good season.
Buy your buoy 10 stuff now.
Yeah, and if you're going to use this for buoy 10 anyway, so if you buy a little extra, it doesn't hurt.
It's not going to
You know,
go bad.
And if you think about it, guys, if you buy it all, right, then the other people don't get it.
There you go.
And you have the advantage. So think about
Load up.
I like the way you
Everybody
think.
I can sell some stuff or what right now. Let's go. Buy it all, and then nobody else gets
That's
it.
right.
You gonna stop making it?
Nope.
No. Didn't think so.
God, I hope not.
Oh my gosh, we're getting deep in here. Okay. All right. Come on, email Jason, enter with that prize pack. We're going to pick our prize pack right now and get out of here, guys. Scroll it up. Don't forget, March 11th, we've got our springtime drop. There it is. Matthew Hutchins says, thank you, guys. Matthew, please email orders. You're going to email us directly for that because you won the Addicted prize pack of ProCare products. Email orders at addicted.fishing. Say you won the 3rd prize pack. I think we're going to do that bonus, prize packs for good questions from a
That's
week
a
on
good
out.
deal.
I think we're going to do that now. That might work because you're actually going to have the 3rd prize pack, Matthew. Congratulations. Email us at orders at addicted.fishing. This is going live on the YouTube channel. I think it auto uploads afterwards. Next week will be the ProCure drawing. We'll hear about that. And we're talking more spring Chinook next week.
Right on.
Thank you, guys.
One other thing.
Oh, one other thing. I was literally going to close it right there, guys. What?
Remember we said we were going to do the other drawing, but since
Oh,
Marlon's sick.
No, we're not. No one mentioned that, did they? We have one more big drawing, guys. Last week we drew for the kayak. We were going to draw for the golden ticket winner, right?
Or the guided trip.
The guided trip, filmed guided trip. We were supposed to do that this week. I think we're going to wait for Marlon next week because we're going to call that person. He's sick. It's all good. We'll probably do it next week. So anyways,